And so this morning, I want to get a bit heavy for a moment, because I want you to do what these people and what many people on that day have never done. They've never examined themselves to see if they're in the faith. They're just they're playing church and going through the motions. And Jesus tells us how to examine ourselves. He says it there. He said, "Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness." He's talking about God's law and those who violate it without any qualms of conscience because they think they're religious enough to make up for their sin. And that law is the moral law of God, and it's summed up very neatly in the Ten Commandments. Most of you probably know most of them. And the commandments are like a mirror that we can look into and examine our own hearts to see if we've been deceived. So let's look into that mirror for the next couple of minutes really quickly so that you can get a picture of yourself and see yourself in truth. Okay? Go through this with me. It's an important exercise, and it will make the cross of Christ make more sense than ever before. Let me ask you this question. Would you consider yourself to be a good person? Most people would. Let's look and see, have you kept the Ten Commandments? That's God's standard of goodness. Let's look at the first one. Let's go right to commandment number 9. Thou shalt not lie. Have you ever lied? Have you ever told a lie and violated that commandment? Of course you have. I have. Have you done it many, many times? Bold-faced lied to someone? Okay. If you've done that, what does that make you? A liar. That's right. Have you ever stolen something? That's the 8th commandment. And it doesn't matter the value of it. Have you ever taken someone else's music off of the internet without paying for it? Have you ever cheated on your taxes? Have you ever borrowed something that you thought, they'll never miss it, they can afford it? I deserve something like this. A little perk here and there from the office. Okay, if you've stolen anything, doesn't matter the value. If you've taken something that doesn't belong to you, what does that make you? A thief. Have you ever taken God's name in vain? Have you ever used God's name as a curse word? If you've done that, that's called blasphemy. That's the 3rd commandment. And that's taking the name of the God who's given you your life and everything that's precious to you and use it as a 4-letter filth word to express disgust or anger. And the Bible says, God will not hold him guiltless who takes the name of the Lord in vain. And every idle word a man speaks, he will give an account of it on the day of judgment. And here's the last one. You shall not commit adultery. Now some of you are saying, I'm okay with that one. But listen to what Jesus said. He said, whoever looks upon a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart. Jesus says that God draws the line at the heart level, and that if you look with lust, you've already committed adultery with that person in your heart. Have you ever done that? Have you ever looked with lust? Lust is pornography of the mind and adultery of the heart as far as God is concerned. If you've said yes to those 4 questions, then by your own admission, you are a lying thief and a blasphemous adulterer at heart. And that's only 4 of the 10 commandments. Your own conscience has just convicted you. And there's 6 more that we haven't even looked at. And you have to face God on Judgment Day.